Hey guys, it is Jess from Knockout Print Shop on Etsy, and today I'm doing a video on an option on how to take your Inkwell Press Classic Planner and use it as a health and fitness planner. So those of you that don't know, I also am a personal trainer and coach. I've been doing that for ever, like I think somewhere between 16 to 18 years. And I own my own gym out here in my area and do coaching and all that stuff. So I thought, why not bridge my two worlds of planner stickers and health and fitness and kind of show how I would suggest and do suggest that my members and clients utilize planners to help them achieve their health and fitness goals. And I think that the Inkwell Press Planner is a good planner to use to kind of convert it into a fitness planner. So I'm going to go over how I would set up the monthly very easily, how I'd set up the weekly view, and kind of give you my philosophy on planning for health and fitness. So first things first, I am all about planning to succeed. So that means that in order to be successful with a new endeavor, or if you find yourself struggling to be consistent with your health and fitness, you need to think about looking at the big picture and planning. So the first thing I always tell my members to do is to take a 1 month calendar, whether they're using the Inkwell Press Planner or any planner or calendar, and look at everything they have going on. And I'm a huge fan of paper planners. Obviously, I know some people are digital, but I think getting a full-on pen and paper view of a month is super helpful. So what I tell people to do is look at a month view and mark anything and everything you have going on. If you have meetings going on, put a meeting in there. If you have parties going on, if you have hair appointments, if you have doctor's appointments, kids things, school things, work things, put everything in there on the date that it occurs and the time. You see here I used our meeting sticker. I think these are good for both the weekly and the monthly view. They work well size-wise. You could even use like a blank flag, write on it, PTA meeting or kids party or swim meet or whatever. You could use that and put that there. This is a good way to kind of highlight, bring attention to something. And then these, I don't actually have these with me right now, but these are our month view label ones. These are great. I use these a lot too down here. So the first step is to write in everything and anything. I don't even care if you think it's not going to get in your way of your health and fitness. Write it down. Then the next thing you want to do is take from the month view, take some kind of icon, sticker, indicator. If you're not into stickers, just write this information in and write in your workouts. My philosophy is all about prioritizing strength training, and I highly recommend that men and women participate in 2 to 3 times a week of structured strength training. And that's going to look different for everybody, but it is a very important variable of fitness that many people miss. So I would say the first priority is to schedule in your strength training. Now, if you're somebody that's not doing strength training right now, that's not your jam or whatever, if you have structured workouts that you go to, maybe it's a class, maybe it's with a trainer, put those in your planner and your month view. Now, this is an example here. If you see, like I put in 8 a.m. strength workout. Oh, look, I have a 9 a.m. meeting. How am I going to make these two things work? Do I have the option to go earlier? Do I need to try to do it later in the day? But the whole point of looking at the month view and getting yourself in a routine, an every other day routine of strength training, and seeing things that are conflicting time-wise allows you to plan ahead. Am I going to have to scrap this day and just let it be? Am I going to scrap this day and move it to another day in my workout? Am I able to, within that day, work around it? But the more you can plan ahead for the obstacles that could come up, the better off you are. So that's how I would use the month. Plan out all of the stuff going on in your life, schedule those 2 to 3 days a week of strength training workouts. And then the other thing you could try doing too as well is on your notes section, maybe using a flag or something and writing down your goals. Maybe your goal is to work out 3 days a week or walk 30 minutes a day, and kind of having that in kind of orient you and let you know that you need to get those in and that's your goal. We'll talk about this a little bit more, but I'm a huge fan, proponent, and advocate for process goals versus outcome goals, meaning things like a process goal would be my goal is to work out 3 days a week versus my goal is to lose 5 pounds this week. Let the outcome kind of take care of itself. You have more control of your behavior in the process, so really focusing on the process has been proven to be incredibly more effective and lead to more success than getting super focused on the outcome. So that's how I would deal with the month view. So now let me bring you to my week view. So the first thing I would suggest, this is one option, and as I'm doing this, I'm like, I have another idea of how you could utilize the planner maybe with less stickers or different stickers to achieve the same result. So the first thing I like to do is divide my planner in half, because I think even if your main purpose for this planner might be health and fitness, you may still want to identify like a to-do list or some appointments or other things up here that are part of your whole, like the whole landscape of your week and what you're doing. You know, our lives don't happen in like isolation of each other, so it's nice sometimes to have a snapshot view of your full week, to-dos you have to accomplish, along with your life and your health. So I like to use the divider stickers that we sell to do that. This happens to be the, I guess it's chevron pattern, but I like, oopsies, taking stuff off. But I like to use these. They are the perfect width for each side of the page to divide my planner in half or whatever proportions I need to. So that's the first thing I would do. Next thing I would do is throw some headers up here, whether it's a to-do if you're a checklist person and you just want to have a checklist going here with the checklist flags. So you use these two in conjunction with each other. We have ones that say today, so maybe you don't need a checklist, maybe you need something that's more appointment-based. You could put work, you could put appointment. So we sell a bunch of different headers, but I would maybe kind of dedicate a portion of the spread each day to some kind of non-health and fitness thing so you can see how everything works together. So that is step one. Once you get that mapped out, now let's get into the chunk that we're going to kind of build this health and fitness planner here at the bottom half. So what I would suggest doing, so a few things. Like I said, I highly recommend scheduling and committing to 2 to 3 days per week of structured strength training. We did it on our monthly, so then we're also going to do that down here on the weekly view. And I like to use these 3 daily boxes for kind of 3 different categories. The first category being one of our priorities, which is getting in that structured strength training. And you can use the kettlebell icon, which comes on the fitness sampler. We also have a full sheet of that. You could use the dumbbell icon. Again, we also have a full sheet of that as well. Whatever one floats your boat that you like, indicate that, as well as the time of the training or any other specific details you need to in the first daily box. So that's one of the major components of health and fitness that I think people need to pay attention to. The second one is daily movement, and that can look different for everybody. In this example, I used our shoe icon, which again is another one that you'll find on the sampler, the fitness sampler, but it's also, we have it in a full sheet as well. And I just put these in here alternating the colors, and I use the example of using steps to gauge daily movement. That's not everybody's cup of tea. You could use mileage as far as like walks, you could use duration of time, whatever floats your boat. This doesn't need to be running, doesn't need to be high intensity. Truly what it needs to be is a tracking of daily movement. I like to use a planner for health and fitness in a way to plan as well as to track, because we truly need to have an understanding and awareness of our current state baseline, where we're at, in order to make small changes going forward. So another huge factor, along with committing to 2 to 3 days a week of strength training, is to also commit to increasing our daily movement. People often mistakenly think that the magic happens in your workout, that that's the end all be all. I gotta squeeze a workout in, I didn't work out enough, I didn't burn enough calories, and they get really fixated on the priority is the workout. Now, your workouts are really important for a number of reasons, but truly your daily movement or lack thereof is going to have a huge impact on the success of your health and fitness. So don't negate, or don't neglect, I should say, that area. And a good way to do that is find a simple tracking method that works for you. Again, whether it's steps, duration, mileage, whatnot. I would say a simple goal to start off with is gauge or track your daily steps for a week. see where you're at, and challenge yourself maybe to get 1,000 more steps a day. Or maybe you do it by time or mileage, however you want to do it. Spend 1 week tracking and the next week setting a small incremental goal to increase it. And aim for, the usual 10,000 steps is a good gauge. It's a realistic, achievable goal for people, as well as maybe doing like 30 minutes a day of walking, however you want to do it, break it up, whatever. Point being, focus on daily activity in some form. Now, so we have strength, structured exercise, we have daily movement, and then this bottom area here, I like to dedicate towards another more lifestyle or wellness type of goal or area to pay attention to when it comes to health and fitness. Some people like to track hydration. So as you know, we have a bunch of different hydration trackers. We have these guys as well as these in a striped version. We also have like the water droplet ones that are solid or striped. So if you like to track and challenge yourself or encourage yourself to drink more water, putting a hydration tracker down here would be a good area to pay attention to. Another one I think is an often neglected area of health and fitness people forget about is sleep. You could use our little sleep icons that are on the health and fitness tracker to track things like maybe the time you went to bed each day, or how many hours of sleep you're getting, or the quality of your sleep. So that is a good sticker to put down here if that's another component of your health and fitness that you want to pay attention to. Another thing you do is make it more about mindfulness or your just overall wellness. You could write gratitudes down here, and I used, let me see if I can find that. I thought I was all organized. Where are those bad boys? Maybe they're here. Yeah. So you can use our little, I used to be a huge fan of these. I don't use them as much, but then when I was preparing for this video, I was like, I love these stickers. So we have these blank daily box kind of like headers. And then we also have them that say different things like health. So you could use that. But point being, you can use it and you can write in something here. We, of course, customizing things is fun, but it's not always feasible. And like, grab a pen, make it easy. Just write in there really quick and you're good. So you could put, I put in here like mine, like for mindfulness, and I am grateful for. You could put a gratitude each day. You could put health and just write into yourself, meditate for 5 minutes. Maybe you want to put your bedtime and then don't want to use a sleep icon. You have a bunch of these laying around. Use these guys. Another sticker I'm a huge fan of is the screens off by whatever time, 9, whatever it is. Again, sleep is super important. Creating a healthy, productive bedtime routine or nighttime routine is really key. And a lot of that can start with setting some parameters for yourself around turning your screens off by a certain time. So maybe you throw one of these at the bottom of each one and check off each day you did it. And this is just kind of a goal, a reminder. So down here again, this is kind of our overall wellness piece that, can change for each person or what you're paying attention to for at the moment. Then we get into, the middle chunk here, which is hugely important. And again, another thing that, obviously we all know nutrition is important, but we have a tendency to have a skewed view of nutrition or an unhealthy relationship with food. And maybe we've dieted a ton, or we have a restrictive diet, or we think we can work off all of our less healthy choices and things like that. And we want to stop thinking about it as a battle and start thinking about something that we can learn about for ourselves, and that's something we can plan for. So step 1, if your nutrition isn't hot right now, the way you can use this section is to start tracking. I always go back to that. Track first, get a baseline, and then make small incremental adjustments. So let's say you're tracking. We have our meal plan stickers that say breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you throw these guys on each section. Let's say you have no plan, you suck at planning, you don't know what you're doing when it comes to nutrition right now, and you just make a note. Let's say you didn't even eat breakfast, leave it blank. But now you have a week, maybe you do this for a week or 2 weeks, and you're like, I see, I'm like not eating till dinner and I'm eating a ton, or I'm eating too small of a breakfast, it's not keeping me long enough. This is going to give you super important information if you're in the tracking stage. This is new to you, or you're trying to get rid of the diet mentality. You want to start really understanding your behaviors so that you can change them for the long term. Start by using these to track. I also grabbed some quarter boxes for down here to fill in extras. Let's say you didn't just have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You had snacks or drink or dessert. Then you can write the time and notate that here. This is all about gathering information so you can start to make small changes. Let's say you have that down, or you don't need to track, you have an idea of what you're doing, and you want to go to the next phase, which is planning. I always suggest menu planning. And I would say start with one meal. If this is a new habit for you, start with dinner. Go ahead and, if you're single, or maybe get with your spouse or your kids to plan out what you guys are going to have, 5 or 6 days out of the week. And plan that dinner, and then that in turn will turn to part of your grocery list. Once you master planning your dinners, then you go to adding lunch. Then you do that for a while, you go to adding breakfast. And as you start to build these habits and it gets more familiar to you and doesn't take as much effort, you're going to go through this process where you have your kind of go-to breakfast, your go-to lunches, you change it up here and there a few days, your go-to dinners, and you have this plan that makes it really effortless versus having to be such a chore. You just get into this routine. Now, let me tell you, this is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time. So once you use these for meal planning and tracking, the next thing you do is go, okay, I need one of Jess's cute little stickers that say meal plan, so you can indicate what day of the week you do that. It's going to be different for everybody. It doesn't have to be Sundays or Saturdays or whatever. And then that meal plan turns into your grocery list. When are we going grocery shopping? Let's notate that. So these are just, some ways you can use the planner to plan and to track health and fitness. Let's say you're not into these big stickers. You like writing on this nice paper in the Inkwell Press Planner. You could even use one of our circle meal looking icons. Put that little guy there, write B, L, D, and S for your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And use this however you want. There's a lot of options here to play with to get this same effect with fewer or more stickers. But the point is, we want to aim for tracking, planning, and again, kind of changing habits slowly over time. So along with the tracking piece, there's a couple other features or stickers I want to point out that are helpful when it comes to building healthy habits and using this planner for health and fitness. And those are habit trackers. And they come in a bunch of different forms in our shop. So you have our newest one, which is the big 30-day one that covers the weekly focus section. And this will allow you at a glance any given week to see how you're doing with your habits. So, I put it on the next week, check all the days from the week before, and just continually adding that new sticker and adding on and kind of seeing at a glance my progress with that habit week by week for a whole month view at a glance. You can use that guy. If you don't want to get rid of that section and you want to use a smaller version of that, we also have a smaller version with all 30 days that you could put over here in the notes section. You could put it on a given day if you don't have room. So those are two options. The option that I tend to like is the 1 week tracker. So I can write my habit in here, can stick that like it is here. Let's say my habit is to eat 3 solid meals a day. And then as I go through, I can mark that off. So you have a couple different options as far as habit tracking. So you're tracking the details in the body of the planner, the weekly spread, and then you're tracking the occurrence here. Sometimes it's nice to see those little X's go by as you accomplish your goals, which then brings me perfectly segued to my last point, which is kind of having an acknowledgement section for yourself to go on, to stay on track with this whole process versus outcome goals. Process goals are all about creating momentum and building habits and giving yourself credit for doing the tasks and staying with the process versus worrying so much about the outcome. The outcome will come if you stick consistently to your process. So I like using these little trophy guys on the fitness sampler to be like, boom, did it, end of the week. 8 veggies at every meal if that was my habit, or completed all 3 strength workouts this week. And giving yourself those acknowledgments. You can flip through your planner and be like, look at how awesome I am. I did all these things. 6 months for a year from now, you're gonna be like, holy crap, I focused on all these process goals, did all this stuff, and I'm feeling better, looking better, whatever, versus worrying about, the weight on the scale every week, which can send you through an emotional roller coaster. So I really encourage you guys, if you're trying to build a health and fitness planner, to find a process that works for you. I would, as a trainer and a coach, I would recommend focusing on a few things. Again, one is strength training, structured strength training, 2 to 3 days a week on non-consecutive days. Daily movement, finding daily movement in your life. That doesn't mean high intensity stuff. That means your walk. I could do a whole video about the importance of walking. So you got that. Maybe having some kind of focus on some kind of wellness or lifestyle goal, whether it's hydration, reading, meditation, sleep habits, things like that. And then the last piece is learning how to plan your nutrition, your meal plans, and slowly making nutritional changes that you can take with you for the long term. And that's a good place to use your habit trackers, whether it's adding a serving of veggies to each meal, eating more protein at each meal, whatever, picking one small habit you can do for 2 weeks or so and consistently. And you want to attack habits one by one. You don't want to be throwing this whole sheet on here with 6 habits. That's too much. It's like overload for your brain, and it's gonna sabotage and backfire. Pick 1, maybe 2 or 3 goals that you are 90 to 100% confident you can achieve every single day. And of course, you're not going to always be perfect, but that's the way you want to pick the goal or the habit to pay attention to and to work on. So I think that is everything I wanted to go over. So please, guys, let me know if you have any questions about doing this. I do have another idea how to do this a little differently too, so I might film a second video. Remember, we have tons of fitness-related stickers, from like dog walks to yoga to Pilates to spin, biking, boxing, treadmill. We have hexagons with shoes and dumbbells in them, different sizes, triathlon stickers. So we have pick your poison, whatever your fitness love is, we have a sticker for it. So I hope that was helpful. Again, let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will happily answer any questions you guys have about doing this or my suggestions for doing it, or if you have specific questions about your situation, let me know. And that's it. So I hope you guys found it helpful, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.